Okay, so we're going to start the Unit 3 review. And on number 1 through 7, we're just going to have to recognize these special kind of angles that we have. For number 1, we need to name some interior, or at least one pair of interior angles. So the interior angles are on the inside. So you could name any of those angles. So angle 4, angle 3, angle 5, and angle 6 are all on the inside or interior. Exterior angles would be on the outside, so that would be angle 1, angle 2, angle 8, and angle 7. Some corresponding angles would be angles that are actually in the same spot but on different lines. So if I have 1, 5 would be corresponding with 1. So I can say angle 1 and angle 5. You could also have, there are other ones as well, so we could have angle 4, and that would correspond with 8. And we could have 2 and 6, angle 2 and angle 6. And then finally, we could also have angle 3 and angle 7. Angle 3 and angle 7. Okay, same side interior angles would be, they would have to be on the same side. So I would say 4 and 5, angle 4 and 5. And they also have to be on the interior. And you could also say angles 3 and 6. When we're talking about alternate interiors, those would be on alternate sides, not on the same side. So alternate interiors would be 4 and 6. And then you could also say 5. So you could also say 5 and 3. So angle 5 and angle 3. The transversal is just that line that goes through both of the other two lines. So we could say that line A is the transversal. Line A is that transversal. And then if you wanted to look at alternate exterior angles, you could say that an alternate exterior, if you chose 7 and 1, those are alternate exteriors. Or you could also choose 2 and 8. Okay, now they're asking us to express the slope, so we're going to use our slope formula. Remember, it's always a change in y over the change in x. Your y is going top and your x is going bottom. Does not matter where we start, so just remember that you have an ordered pair, so you could always label your points if you want to. And I'm calling the first one's x1, y1, the second one's x2, y2, and then I just put in the formula, so I'm going to do 9 minus 6 on top, and then on the bottom I'm going to have negative 3 minus 7. So that would be 3 over negative 10, and that cannot be reduced. For number 9, tell whether the lines given through the points are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Okay, so for the first ones, for line 1, we have to find the slope. So again, we are going to label our points x1, y1, x2, y2, and we can say 4 minus 0 over 4 minus 2. So that would give us 4 over 2, which equals 2. So the slope of that line is 2. And then we're going to do our other line, line 2. So the same exact thing. I'm going to do 5 minus 1 on top, and then 8 minus 6 on bottom. So that would be 4 over 2, which equals 2. So my slope for each of those lines is 2. The slope for this one is 2. The slope for this one is 2. So if they have the same slope, they are parallel. And you could always write that like that. You could say line 1 is parallel to line 2. Okay, so then on number 10, it says in the figure below, A is parallel to B, and they have that marked. Find the measurement of each angle. So they want to know the measure of angle 2 and angle 1. Well, we know that this angle and 2 are called corresponding angles, so we know that corresponding angles are congruent. So we could say angle 2 is 60 degrees. Okay? Then we need to figure out what angle 1 is. So I'm going to go ahead and plug that in as 60 degrees. And then remember that angle 1 and angle 2 make this angle and this angle make they're going to make they're going to add up to be supplementary because they're same side interior. So supplementary means they add up to be 180. So in order to find angle 1, all we do is subtract 60, 180 minus 60, and we get 120. So angle 1 is 120 degrees. Okay, then on number 12, it shows parallel lines with a transversal, and we know that this angle is 60, so we know that. We also know that this other angle right there is 60. So in order to solve for x, we set those equals. So we would do 3x plus 15 equals 60 and solve from there. Minus 15. So 3x would equal 45. And then our last step is to divide by 3. So x would equal 15. Okay, in number 13, we know that these are same side, SSI, same side interior angles. Remember that S gives us a clue that they are supplementary. So we are going to add them up and make them equal 180. So we have 5x minus 10 plus 75 equals 180. And then we solve. So the first thing is to add our like terms together. So nothing matches with our 5x, so just bring that down. Negative 10 and 75 is just going to be plus 65 equals 180. Then we need to subtract the 65. So 5x equals 115, and then we would divide by 5. So x would equal 23. In number 14, we're looking at two parallel lines are cut by a transversal. Name the angle relationship. Hint, they are either supplementary or congruent. So use S for supplementary or C for congruent. Okay, so we have alternate exterior angles. So if we have, say, 1 and 8, alternate exterior angles are congruent. Okay, then they're asking us about alternate interior angles. That would be like something like 4 and 5. Those are also congruent. Then corresponding angles would be like 2 and 6. And those would be congruent. Okay? Same side exterior. Now that should give us a big hint because SS, we think of supplementary. Supplementary. And then this one, SS, supplementary. So that means they add up to be 180, so they would be supplementary. So 14, 15, and 16 are congruent, and then same side exterior, that would be like on the same side, 2 and 8, those are going to be supplementary, so we'll just put a S there. And then same side interior, that would be like 3 and 6, or 3 and 5, they would also be supplementary, okay? Okay, number 19, in a plane, if two lines are parallel to the same line, then those two lines are parallel to each other. So what they're saying is they get a really straight line to show you. So they're saying if I have a parallel line here and I have a parallel line here, okay? So let's just call this A. This line right here we'll call A. This line we'll call B, okay? So, and then I'm going to put another parallel line up there. Okay, so if I tell you that A is parallel to B and B is parallel to C, then you could also say that A is also parallel to C. This line is C. So you can make the conclusion that A is also parallel to C. So that would be always. Okay, and then on number 20 it says in a plane, if a line is perpendicular to one of two parallel lines, it is perpendicular to the other. So that what they're saying is that you have a line that is perpendicular. Okay, so we have two parallel lines to start with. These guys are parallel. And then we also have a perpendicular line. I'll draw it as perpendicular as I can. So they're saying that you have a line that's perpendicular to one of the lines. So that means that it cuts it and makes a right angle. So if you can say that say this is A and this is B and this is C. If you can say A and C are perpendicular. If A is perpendicular to C and A and B, A is parallel to B, then you could say that B is also perpendicular to C. Okay? That's the conclusion. And that will be every single time. Always. That's always going to be true. Okay, number 21, in the figure below, angle 1 is congruent to angle 8 under which of the following conditions? So the only way that that is true is if Y and Z are parallel. Okay, so you have to say that line Y is parallel to Z. Yep, that's it, so C. Number 22, we're going to use the midpoint formula to find our midpoint. So the formula is given, so we're just going to plug that in. Remember, we average our x's. We can still label them, x1, y1. Remember, it's always an ordered pair, x2, y2. So we just take our x's, our 2 plus 6, and then divide that by 2. And we're going to end up with an ordered pair. So then we take our y's, our 4 plus 6, and we divide that by 2. So our x is going to be 2 plus 6, which is 8, divided by 2, and then we have 10, 4 plus 6, divided by 2. And finally, our ordered pair should be 8 divided by 2, which is 4, and 10 divided by 2, which is 5, 4, 5. So that should be B. Okay, and that's it.